Jesus said, "Before my return, destruction." Does that make him the devil? Jesus said, "Before the hour, the system will collapse." Does that make him the devil? Jesus said, "Before my return, sin will be rampant." Does that make him the devil? Jesus said, "I do not know the hour of my return, but I bring you its signs." Does that make him the devil? Jesus said, "I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." Does that make him the devil? Is easier to destroy than to build. Does that make the devil more powerful than God? God is said to be the creator, and the devil to be the destroyer. Does that make them dualists? God is love, and the devil is a threat to order. The causes of the storm in the book of Jonah is Jonah. Jonah is the cause of his own storm. At least, that is how it is interpreted. Jonah is only a man. How could he create a storm that falls on himself? This questioning is part of a divine anger and the fear of the sailors who, believing that Jonah is the cause of their misfortune, wake him up so that he prays to his God. "Why are you sleeping? Throw me into the sea," he replied, "and the sea will calm down. Throw me out of the ship, and there will be no more storm." Joseph's brothers plotted. They said to each other, "Here comes the dreamer. Now let's go. Let's kill him and throw him into one of the cisterns. We will say that a wild beast has devoured him, and we will see what becomes of his dreams." Joseph said to himself, "Throw me to the wolves, I will return as leader of the pack." Which means that Joseph has the ability to overcome difficulties and transform himself into a leader despite the trials he has gone through. In other words, he shows great determination and an ability to rise in the face of adversity to the point of becoming the leader of this pack. Joseph's challenge of being exposed to danger and an obstacle of relative importance, such as being thrown to the wolves, is the process of a difficult and potentially life-threatening situation. Resilience is that despite this challenge, Joseph is able to survive and thrive. The ick is that instead of simply surviving, Joseph becomes the leader of the pack by taking control of the situation and guiding others. Joseph transforms himself and gains a position of leadership which shows his ability to overcome difficulties and grow through the experience he receives. "Throw me in whole, and I will swallow you all." These expressions highlight a person's ability to rise in the face of adversity and become what they should have been: a leader, a king, a god, a singularity, whatever, while overcoming difficulties and transforming their situation into opportunities. Jesus said, "I did not come to bring peace, but disorder." Does that make him the devil? Jesus said, "I came to put division between a man and his father." Does that make him the devil? Between the daughter and her mother. Does that make him the devil? Between the daughter-in-law and her mother-in-law. Does that make him the devil? Then Jesus said, "A man's enemies will be those of his own household." Does that make him the devil? They say that jealousy is the first sin, but Jesus said, "He who loves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me." Is Jesus the jealous one? And he adds, "Whoever loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." The love of Christ prevails over all. Some like to say that God and the devil are narcissists. Narcissism is a psychological state of health, is characterized by an excessive sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Narcissistic people may have a distorted perception of their abilities and accomplishments, and they can be very sensitive to criticism. More specifically, narcissism can be defined as a grandiose sense of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration, a lack of empathy, fantasies of unlimited success, power, splendor, or ideal love. In short, narcissism is a state where a person is superior to others, has a need for admiration, a lack of empathy for those close to them, and can manipulate others for their own interests. Jesus said, "Whoever does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me." Does that make him a narcissistic person? He is God, and God and the devil are interpretations of good and evil. But in reality, he who kills for love is the devil, and he who gives without counting is God. For God is merciful and the most wealthy. Everything in heaven and on earth are his. Jesus told us, "Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." It's a give and take. You reap what you sow. And to finish the story, Matthew 24 and John 16, where Jesus announces his return. Do you see all this? Truly I tell you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are only the beginning of sorrows. He who endures to the end will be saved. And unless those days were shortened, no one would be saved, but for the sake of the elect those days will be shortened. Behold, I have told you beforehand. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. When that time comes, the Spirit of truth will guide you into all truth. For the Spirit will not speak on his own, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will show you things to come. He will glorify me, because he will receive from mine and show it to you. All that the Father has is mine. Therefore I said that he will receive from mine and show it to you. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines even to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Learn from a parable about the fig tree. When its branch is tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you, when you see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day and hour no one knows, no, not the angels of heaven, but the Father only. A little while, and you will not see me, and again a little while, and you will see me, because I am going to the Father. At that day you will ask me nothing. Truly, truly, I say to you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give it you. Until now you have asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you will receive, that your joy may be full. These things I have spoken to you in parables. The hour is coming when I will no longer speak to you in parables, but will tell you plainly about the Father. At that day you will ask in my name, and I do not say to you that I will ask the Father for you. For the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and believed that I came out from God. I came out from a Father and came into the world. Now I leave the world and go to the Father. Sleep is the father of death. The fruit of sleep is death. When we sleep, we will not die, but when we sleep, we prepare for death, by preparing for the afterlife through the dreams of sleep. That is why I like to say that there are only two paths, hell and its nightmare, or the dream and its paradise. If you are between the two, you are in balance, a constant balance where neither death nor life takes you. Just like Jonah, Jesus was aware of the pains, troubles, and storms that he brings with him. Jonah did not want to obey God. Did Jesus disobey? Obviously not. These are only signs and signals of the prophetic time and the Messianic era. Just like a drowning devil, Jesus brings his law with him, and his commandment is that of God. Satan,